Let's go back a little actually to see how you kind of got there, because I love talking with artists that have had some really cool success and then kind of breaking down some of the steps that they've had to get there, because I think that so many people would love to be where you are but have no clue how to even start, you know what I mean? And I think that that is so important. So let's go back into maybe a little bit of your backstory, and then I want to kind of forward into how you started some connections, and then you already mentioned how you met Morissette. But let's go back into your story. So how did you get into the your industry, and how would you define it? Would you just define the creative industry? Would you define it as the music industry, or how would you define yourself as a creator?
Okay, so let's go back to 2018.
Okay.
No, so I graduated architecture. So that's my degree.
Wow.
Yeah, for 5 years, I dread no, I crawled my way out of architecture. So I was an architecture graduate. And then after, but during my architecture years in college, I would already get small projects, video projects, you know, covering corporate videos or just doing my own thing,
Mm,
like my personal videos or documenting my travels and stuff like that. But most of my works were travel. So in my fifth year of college, an airline actually asked me if I wanted to be a freelance storyteller for them
wow.
after I graduated. So and I was so excited as a 21 year old. I said, "Oh yeah, do you get I get paid. I get paid to travel, all expenses paid." As a 21-year old, I was just so
Yeah.
excited to graduate and do that, not even architecture,
Yeah.
just do that. And then after I graduated, 3 days, literally 3 days after I graduated, I flew out to my first
Wow.
ever travel duty for AirAsia. So that's where it
Wow.
all started. I didn't dive into architecture just yet, just because I know that architecture will always be there because that's the degree that I graduated. So I'm more open to trying new things, especially in the creative, because I want to know if the creative is for me.
Mm,
So for at least 4 to 5 months, I was there doing freelance storytelling for AirAsia. So I did a couple of travel videos for them, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I got tired. I came back to the Philippines, and then after that, that's the time I tried going architecture. So I applied for an architecture job. I got accepted and worked for an architecture firm for 2 months, and that's when I said, okay, I no, this is not for me. So I'll go back to the creative, and that's where it all started. 2019, I was doing creative work, but more on graphic design, not even directing just yet. Graphic design, branding, and all those things. So not yet directing music videos. I haven't done any music videos that time. It's all branding, corporate job, graphic,
mm,
but as a freelancer. And then come the pandemic, that's when so everything was paused, right? So I didn't know what to do, like graphic design, everything was just on hold, everything. And I think that was April of 2020. An artist, um, one of my acquaintances, we haven't met really personally. But she tapped me to be her creative director for the album that she's doing, and that was the first ever project in the music industry that I had.
mm.
So from there on, that project, they loved that project, and I love doing it also. And then she tapped me to direct a music video for that particular project because it was the pandemic. It's easier to just get the same people,
Mm.
because it's harder to meet. It's harder to just a time frame of everything. It's just very tricky that time. So they hired me also as a director, and then I enjoyed it, and I said, "Oh, I think I have a voice in this type of
Mm.
industry," and and the fact that people are loving it, I said, why not? Why don't I give it a try? So and then I was feeling that I was enjoying it as well. So I said, oh, maybe this is another path that I can take. And so during the pandemic, and that project actually launched a couple of stuff because the different artists saw it and
Mm.
loved it, and then they started messaging me, tapping me, and saying, "Hey, we saw this. Can you do this for us?" and stuff like that. So it was like a huge blessing from the Lord because I didn't know what to do for like 3 months ago. I didn't have any projects, zero, running on savings and everything, stuff like
Mm.
that. But then this opportunity came, and it just snowballed into projects and projects and projects until it reached Dave that time in our shoot. I was directing a different shoot and Dave was there. And then Dave, I think, yeah, he was planning to talk to me on Instagram, but then that chance came, and
Oh,
then he just took it and talked to me personally and stuff like that. And then snowballed into Morissette, and then now, after a year after, we're not just workmates anymore. We're friends.
sure.
2 days ago, actually, they were here. We were just watching movies with Dave and my wife,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Morissette. So yeah, so it's really I think a blessing also
Hmm.
that not just I gained not just a client but also a friend, friends actually with Dave and Morissette and my wife as well. So yeah, that's how it happened, and that's how my career happened. And in the creative, um, what's happening in the creative right now, I think people, because the pandemic has really changed the landscape of creating right now. People have more chances and more opportunities to be seen
Mm.
because everyone is just online, and it's easier to get discovered, just because if not all artists or all corporations, they're all online right now. And if you see a good project, you can easily just research who did it and get connected to
Yeah.
that person.
Yes.
And that's
That's true.
basically what happened to me. They saw one project of mine, and they loved it, and then they messaged me.
Yeah.
So for the creative industry right now, it's a great chance to thrive, because and there's a great opportunity also to be discovered in the season.
Yeah.
And I feel like for all the creatives out there, it's just create and create whatever.
Rich.
Even passion projects, just post it, because people will discover you online.
So I first of all love your perspective. There's so many things that I want to add on. The first thing is it's all about every interview that I have. It's all about relationships. You just have
Yeah.
created one relationship after another, after another, after
Yes.
another, and it led to more and more and more. And I'm sure this relationship with more set, even if you stay with her for a long time, will create other opportunities, in other
Mm.
relationships. Just because that's what the world is all about.